class today in a comfortable seated position, but for some of us that may be seated on a chair, on the edge of a bed or a couch, or maybe even, um, you know, propped up with a pillow or two. I like to use a Zafu to prop myself on. That makes for a much more um, neutral spine. Actually, it helps to lift up the heart, which makes everything else fall into place just right. So welcome. And also, if you're new to my class, I really do recommend having a blanket and or a pillow handy. Just anything like off a couch or a bed or whatever is handy. Hi, Phyllis. Good to see you
Hi
too.
there.
So just a reminder to have those comfort bits around you. And we'll find a comfortable seated position, probably using some support underneath the knee. I have a knee that's still healing, so I kind of have one leg extended and one knee bent, and I've got a prop underneath my right knee, and I'm propped up behind in a extra Zafu. So use the stuff that's around you so that you can feel relaxed in your pelvis and in your hips, and let your legs be falling onto something. So even if it's stuffing an extra sweatshirt or something that's nearby underneath a knee, you may be surprised at how big a difference it makes in your ability to find ease in this seated position, however you may be. All right, and I'll invite you to having gratitude for the surroundings that are inviting you to sit in ease, and taking a moment to close your eyes when you're ready to tune inward. And go ahead and maybe adjust your hand gesture in some way if you like to, that feels grounding. Maybe even bringing your hands to your heart and your belly, maybe tucking your thumbs into your hands in Adi Mudra. Maybe there's some other gesture that feels just right to you. And I'll ring my bowl today to just help us all switch gears, shifting out of the machinations of our day and into this sacred time and space that we've all set aside to be together and practice this integration of body, mind, and breath. With palms together, rest your chin towards your chest and take a few breaths into the back of your neck. Relaxing your shoulders, feeling the connection between your fingers, your palms, feeling the weight of your elbows dropping, just relaxing into this breath of the neck. I'm going to interlace the hands and press the palms forward now. Maybe adjust the neck as it feels natural and right to you. Directing your attention to the space between the shoulder blades now and breathing into that space. Pressing the palms forward into the center of our virtual circle. And with your next inhale, press the palms all the way overhead. Open up your armpits and let the shoulders just do what they need to do. Maybe the elbows bend a little bit. Allow for gentle movement, a little sway perhaps from side to side. Really allow yourself to stretch through the palms. Open up the wrists with compassion. Let those armpits open wide to the breath and take another couple of breaths here, stretching even further into the side bodies, creating more space between the rib cage and the pelvis. Relaxing the pelvis, the leg bones heavy, dropping to their support. And stretching the arms overhead. One more big breath here, tall and long. And exhale, rest the hands behind the back now. Interlace them or just reach the fingertips towards the floor. Drop the chin gently forward once again and direct your attention to the space between the shoulder blades, lacing them together. Just like you are lacing a corset together, drawing those shoulder blades in toward one another. Breathing across the front of the shoulders. Relaxing the tops of the shoulders away from the ears and inviting even more space between the earlobes and the tops of the shoulders. Breathing deeply into the space between the shoulder blades, drawing them in toward one another. Inhaling, arms stretching wide open now. So reset the pelvis in any way you need to. Relax those hips, those groins, adjust the ankles and the knees. Find that sense of ease from the waist down. Extend the arms and keep activating the back muscles so that the arms are an extension of your back. You can continue to use that image of lacing the shoulder blades together, but in fact, bring that image right down through the spine, a sense of activating all the muscles along the spine from crown to tail. Relax the pelvis again. Feel the separation of energy between the bottom half of the body as it relaxes to the earth and the upper spine as it extends to the stars. On an exhale, go ahead and bring the arms all the way overhead. Inhale now, reach a little taller, and exhale to twist. Keep that long spine and tall spine as you drop the left hand towards the right knee. Let the right fingertips fall to the earth behind you, wherever they fall naturally, according to the right shoulder. You can use your hands against whatever they're touching as a point of leverage to gently rotate the left shoulder forward and the right shoulder back. Relax the shoulders away from the ears again, increasing the space between the earlobes and the tops of the shoulders. So the left hand is reaching towards the right knee and the right hand is dropping behind you. Left hand reaching across the body. And we'll just take another breath or two here, relaxing the shoulders, but inhaling and elongating, exhaling, and gently encouraging the rotation in the spine from the waist up. The pelvis relaxed and neutral. Take your time now, slowly unwinding. Let the arms just drag. Relax those shoulders. Let the arms find their way into your lap, palms open, wrists heavy, just dropping the backs of the hands against your legs, and pause for a moment to simply observe the sensations in your spine. Just breathing and observing. Inhaling, we're going to sweep the arms all the way overhead, reaching tall once again. And exhaling now, the right hand comes across towards the left knee, finding our counter twist now. Using our hands at whatever they're resting on, right hand to the outside perhaps of the left knee or across the left knee in some way. And in this twist, as we guide the right shoulder forward and the left shoulder back, I'll invite you to start by turning your chin from shoulder to shoulder, just subtly. Right hand crossing towards left knee now. Twisting so that the right shoulder is being encouraged forward and the left shoulder back. And finding a little bit more ease in the neck, maybe picking a spot to just hang out in. The chin might want to just hover over the heart, or maybe wants to rotate towards the right shoulder slightly. Deep oceanic breathing, inhaling and exhaling through the nose. Inhaling, arms stretching overhead, reaching tall. Exhaling now, interlace those fingers behind the head so that you land in like a hammock pose. Relax the shoulders away from the ears, relax the pelvis, and with an inhale, open the elbows a little bit wider. Opening up those armpits a little bit wider. Exhale, curl the elbows together and gently draw the chin towards the chest to whatever degree feels safe and right to you. So we're going to inhale and open the elbows again. Maybe the chin lifts, maybe the head is getting heavy in the hands. Exhale, curl it back inward. So I'll invite you to move in this way, any variation that feels groovy to you. You might enjoy bringing even a little bit more movement to the pelvis, allowing for it to respond naturally. As you move in the upper spine, the pelvis may rock gently. And we can get a sense of a little bit of a curling and arching position, just like a cat-cow. So allow the spine to be supple and move with the breath. No need to hold anything, just relax into it. Allow the weight of the hands at the back of the head to just subtly support the opening of the back of the neck. Just a few more breaths here, allowing yourself to just flow with it. On an exhale, let yourself hold the curled in position and just hang out there for another breath or two, continuing to allow the shoulders to drop away from the ears and the breath to move into the back of the neck. Relaxing the arm bones into the lap and rolling up slowly. We can pause with our head heavy, just start to roll it towards the right shoulder. And then release the chin towards the chest and start to roll the head towards the left shoulder. And allow for this pendulum motion in whatever way, shape, or form feels yummy to you. Give in to the weight of the cranium. Allow the shoulders to be relaxed and respond in any way that's natural as you explore the neck. Just allow. No need to hold. The weight of the elbows, the wrists, heavy, dropping to gravity. And just allow the cranium to take you for a little ride, maybe from side to side, maybe around in some rotational form. Whatever feels exactly right to you in this moment, noticing the breath and the weight of the skull. Just relaxing and surrendering to the weight of the cranium. You might find the urge to exhale through the mouth. Just let it happen. You might feel the urge to hang out in some position, to give some spot a little extra attention, a little extra breath. Allow for it. Ultimately, let's slowly begin to drop the chin and then roll the crown of the head upward. And we'll pause here for a moment, just allowing some stillness and time to observe the subtle sensations from crown to tail. Relax from the waist down, the groin soft, the hips soft, the legs heavy. Relaxed in the shoulders, but energized along the spine. So we can take ourselves into some form of camel pose. Maybe you're feeling ready to get up onto your knees, and maybe you'd rather stay seated, whichever works for you. You can stay seated with your hands finding their place right underneath your sit bones, with your palms against your body as if your hands are in your back pockets, and activating down through the leg bones. So whether you're up onto your knees with your pelvis floating over your knees, or you're staying seated and just placing the hands beneath your sit bones, start to draw the elbows back, the shoulders back. And take your time inviting the heart space to lift upward as you relax the pelvis and direct the tailbone downward. All the while, the gaze is forward, so the back of the neck can remain open and without strain. Breathing deeply in camel pose, lifting the heart space, dropping the tailbone, breathing across the front of the body. And when it feels complete for you, go ahead and find a forward fold of your choice. So maybe on your knees, you'll drop down into a child pose of some sort, maybe pulling in a pillow underneath your belly and a block underneath your knees. Maybe if you're seated and you'd rather not come up onto your knees, you'll just bring a pillow underneath your belly so that you can hang forward over something. Allow for some loving care as you arrange yourself in this forward melt of your body's design. Wonderful. Taking time to invite the crown of your or the forehead to the earth, and also allowing the weight of the pelvis to drop back. If you're feeling discomfort in your knees here, please consider taking a pillow and placing it behind the knee joints to support the knees. You won't believe what a relief that is. Resting in this relaxed and passive position of child pose, taking a few more breaths here. Allowing the breath to move into the back side of the body and allowing the skull to be heavy. Maybe a block is resting under the forehead so that there's no strain in the neck or the shoulders. Taking just a few more breaths here, bringing your attention to the back of the neck. And if you have any strain there at all, bringing in a support underneath your forehead like a pillow or a block. And taking a few more breaths to turn the head ever so subtly with the forehead supported so that there's no strain in the neck and an ability to just relax and drop into that gentle rocking of the skull, heavy skull, dropping towards its support. Feeling that nice, happy exploration in the neck, an invitation to relax the shoulders. Then we can walk our hands slowly back up and take a few cat-cows as we come onto our hands and knees and into a potential downward facing dog, if that feels safe and right to you. If you'd rather not take a downward facing dog and keep a little less pressure in your wrists, you have a couple options. You can take a little puppy pose with your pelvis floating over your knees and your hands stretching forward on the mat. Or if you'd rather come to your feet, you can place your hands on the wall and take an L-shaped position at the wall with your hands at something at about hip height, like a counter or the back of a chair. And you can open up your spine with your hands pressing or resting on a hip height prop. So honor your body wisdom here, downward facing dog in some shape or form that feels yummy to you in this moment. Doesn't matter, it just matters that it feels right to you in the moment. Listening to your own body wisdom and stretching into your body glove, reaching into the nooks and the crannies, sinking one heel at a time, perhaps a gentle pedaling from heel to heel. And taking time when it feels right to you, just walk your feet towards your hands and allow yourself to wrap your arms around the backs of your bent knees. So your feet will stay separated, comfortably distanced. Your knees are going to stay bent, and you're going to wrap your hands around the backs of your legs and drop your belly towards your thighs so that the belly and the thighs are kissing. The knees are bent quite a lot in order for that to happen, of course. Bending those knees deeply and pressing into your feet. Let the head fall, release the back of your neck. Feel a gentle tractioning of that low back in a safe way with the belly and the thighs touching one another. dropping the torso over bent knees. That's it. Taking a few more breaths here and really allowing for your own exploration of the spine. Dropping the skull, stretching gently. And on an inhale, go ahead and slowly roll up to stand. Take your time, keeping your knees bent, and roll up through the spine to a standing position, taking all the time you need. And then when you're standing, take just a few more breaths, stretching upwards in a standing position. So you're standing tall with your arms overhead now, Utthita Tadasana. Reaching upward. We'll just take a few breaths here, standing tall in Utthita Tadasana. And we're going to stand with our crescent pose here, reaching the left arm overhead and dropping the right arm to our side. We're going to keep pushing down into the floor with our left foot and reaching up through the left arm. So the whole left side body is allowed to open up to the breath here. Pressing into the left foot and reaching up and perhaps over towards the right side of the body with the left arm. So the left arm is reaching up and over, reaching towards the right. That's it, dropping the right arm towards gravity. We can shake that right arm out and reach up with the left arm like we're hanging from a little ring that our hands are grabbing right now. Take one more big breath here, reaching open into that left side body. And then press into both feet, soften the knees, relax the pelvis, and reach up. Engage the core as we return to a standing Utthita Tadasana, extended mountain pose. And now we're going to reach up with the right arm. So the right foot is pressing, the left arm is going to drop like a wet noodle at our side, and we're going to keep reaching open into that right side of the body. Right arm reaching high and left arm dropping. So taking a couple more breaths here, reaching open into that right side of the body. Right arm stretching overhead in whatever position feels safe and right to you. Again, imagine that the right hand is holding onto a ring and you're hanging from it. Just allow that right side of the body to open up. Right arm high, head falling to the left. And we're going to take action into both our feet, reach up with both our arms, stretch tall, and on an exhale, we're going to swan dive forward. So that means we're going to lead with our heart, arms open wide, bend the knees, and give our legs another hug. Wrap them up. Inhale and press your hands against your legs, reaching into flat back position, or Ardha Uttanasana. And then exhale, place the hands at your mat, step your feet back and stretch it out once again in a downward facing dog. Releasing when you feel ready back to your knees and resting here for a moment in a couple cat-cows, just moving your spine, arriving on your knees. We're going to release our hips towards the earth. And we're going to stretch the legs around in front of us. So keep something underneath your pelvis here as we come to sit on the mat. A folded blanket or a pillow right underneath the pelvis will help make things a lot more comfortable. Your rolled up blanket or other pillow could come underneath your knees to support the backs of your legs so that you can stretch your legs forward with more comfort and a sense that you can reach down into the earth with the backs of your legs. So we want to access a downward action from the backs of our legs as we extend up now through the arms and the spine. The toes are lifted towards the sky. We're flexing our feet and we're stretching through the heels as we lift up through the arm bones and open up our armpits. On an exhale, we're going to fold forward. The belly button's going to pull towards the back of the spine, and we're going to reach the torso over our legs. We might roll back up on the in-breath and just start to flow in and out of this forward fold. Exhaling as we reach forward. Inhaling as we roll back up again. So it might feel nice to you to just keep flowing in and out of the pose, working with the breath, working with the action of the abdomen. Maybe you prefer to rest in a forward fold for a few more breaths. Whatever feels good to you. There's no right or wrong here, as long as you're listening to the messages of your own body wisdom, just listening to the body. Staying with the breath. Continuing to activate downward through the backs of the legs. And one more breath here. Exhaling, the belly button pulls towards the back of the heart. We'll inhale to round up, and let's make our way onto our backs now. So I'll invite you to adjust yourself carefully, bringing yourself onto your back, maybe cushioning your back in whatever way makes sense to you, and finding a happy baby position where you're going to be gently holding at the back of your knee joints as you release onto your spine. And you're going to let your ankles float up like a baby would, hanging out on its back. Some of us might like to creep our fingers up the backs of our legs towards our ankles or our big toes. Some of us are going to be much more relaxed in our shoulders if we keep our hands at the back of our knees or at the back of our calves. So give yourself permission to play with this pose just like a baby would be playing on their back. Think less about a form and just allow yourself to be happy baby rather than do happy baby. Let the head turn from side to side and check in with the neck. Relax the neck. Let the pelvis relax, the groins, the tailbone falling. Release the soles of the feet now towards the floor. Carefully, maybe one foot finds the floor at a time, bringing the knees together and then dropping the feet to the floor. We can open the knees up now, soles of the feet touching each other. If you have blocks, place them underneath your knees. If you have pillows, tuck them underneath your thighs. Allow for support under the thighs. Allow the arms to open out like wings or even to fall open over your head, bent elbows, palms open in a pose of surrender. Relax the shoulders, let the armpits breathe open, relax the pelvis, let the tailbone be heavy, let the sacral space be relaxed, the leg bones are supported, the soles of the feet are touching. Just breathing here, allowing for the fullness of your breath and observing that the body can relax a little bit more with each exhale, allowing the weight of the arm bones to fall right through the support beneath them. Just allowing Breathing deeply here and allowing. Acknowledging any natural resistance that may arise and holding yourself tenderly. Allow. Just relax a little bit more with this next exhale. Begin to turn the head gently from side to side and wiggle your fingers. And eventually gather your knees in toward one another and your knees in towards the chest. So holding the knees to the chest and just relaxing the shoulders away from the ears and filling the low back with the breath. A gentle rock may feel good to you. Just being present with what the body is requesting as you breathe into the backside of the body. Placing the left foot to the floor and crossing the right ankle to the left knee, encouraging the right knee away from the body. And taking this gentle hip opener, maybe it feels good to move that right knee subtly forward and back. Maybe there's some other variation of ankle to knee that you're familiar with that you feel comfortable accessing. The left foot might want to rest on a block, or you might even take that left knee in your hands. Working from a place of relaxation in the neck and the shoulders, making sure that you're not adding strain in your access to the right hip. Breathing deeply. It feels groovy to me to create a subtle rock from side to side here. Feel free to play with the movement any way that feels good to you. The right foot remains flexed as we explore that right hip. This helps to stabilize the right knee. We could push the right heel to the left a little further in order to honor and avoid any sense of strain or torque that we're aware of in the right knee. Releasing the left leg long and heavy to the earth, we'll hold the right knee now, rotating it as we find our Apanasana pose. So the right knee is bent and being held, supported towards the body, and the left leg is dropping long and heavy. And we can breathe deeply here into the low back, into the pelvic bowl, attempting to relax that right hip a little bit more. Maybe jiggle the right knee or even start to move the knee into the right hand and then across to the left hand at whatever pace feels good to you. Just exploring that right leg by transitioning the right knee from hand to hand. Just relaxed. We're moving the right knee, exploring the right hip. We can gently guide the right knee across towards the left side of the mat, creating a supine twist. Stabilizing the right knee, maybe a block underneath it. Maybe we place a pillow under the right elbow or the right wrist so that we don't feel any strain in the right shoulder. Setting ourselves up so that we can relax and allow the right side of the body to open to the breath. Stabilizing the right knee, stabilizing the right arm and shoulder, relaxing and breathing across the right hip, relaxing the groins, relaxing the jaw, the neck, the shoulders, just relaxing. Breathing deeply here. On an exhale, we can curl the knees slowly back towards the chest. Take your time, a gentle rock perhaps, and a transition. The left ankle crossing the right knee. Shifting your attention into the left hip. Flexing the left foot and encouraging the left knee away from the body with the least amount of tension and muscular action, especially in the shoulders. So however you find your access to that left knee, see if you can find that invitation for the left knee to move away from the body in a satisfying way while relaxing the shoulders. Breathing deeply and just allowing for this compassionate and curious exploration of the left hip. Maybe some playful movement is satisfying for you. Keeping that left foot flexed. Focusing on relaxing in the face, the shoulders, the jaw, the left hip. When it comes naturally, relax the right leg long and heavy and hold the left knee to the chest. Right leg long and heavy, left knee falling in towards the body now with this new pose of Apanasana. We can play with that left knee, give it a little jiggle as we continue to relax the pelvis, the groins, the right leg heavy. We might even drop the weight of the left knee from hand to hand, continuing to gently explore that left hip. And allow for any other exploration of that left leg and hip that feels natural and organic for you. Ultimately guiding the left knee across towards the right side of the mat, stabilizing that left knee and that left shoulder with a prop under the elbow or the left wrist, and allowing for a safe and supported surrender here in a supine twist. Dropping the weight of the arm bones ever more heavily towards the earth. Relaxing deeply. Allowing that left side of the body to open to the breath. And taking your time as it feels complete for you, gathering your knees slowly back toward a central neutral position. Maybe you're going to have some other pose that your body is craving right now. So I'm going to invite you to listen to your body wisdom and just allow shifting through one more pose that your body is desiring toward a pose of Shavasana. Maybe the legs want to be up in an inverted state. Maybe you'll set yourself up against the wall so that you can be inverted and just drop directly into an inverted and restorative variation of Shavasana. So give yourself permission to follow your body wisdom here and just allow for whatever your body is craving and a transition to surrender. Taking the next 3 to 5 breaths to assess where you need to adjust to find neutrality in the body. And ultimately setting your body up now for a pose of surrender. Whatever pose and position makes sense to you. Bringing in support underneath knees, support in any way that feels nurturing for you, encouraging a deeper state of surrender, welcoming your nervous system into this sacred state of restoration. Welcoming yourself into the spaciousness that you've cultivated through your practice today. Taking your time, gradually reanimating fingers and toes, allowing for a slow and careful return to a seated position. Or maybe you're feeling like you could just rest in this Shavasana a little longer, in which case I welcome you to do so. And we can bring our palms together as we find ourselves seated, And just take a deep breath into the back of the neck, resting the head forward, acknowledging our inner wisdom with gratitude for guiding us to this very point in time and space. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Namaste.